Hey, Hound Dogs, I'm David Hankins,
And I'm Paul Hankins.
and you're on the air with Power Squared. We have a guest. Your name again? Oh, Lucas.
Ah, Chris Hemsworth.
Oh,
My
okay.
name's
Wait, Jesus.
Lucas.
It's been so long since you've been on the show. I forgot who you were. No, Lucas Scheffel is here. He has his own Kickstarter going, but he's here to ask us questions about WonderCon
Yeah,
2025 that happened last weekend in Anaheim,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
our first, I'll say, major con.
yeah. So what? So how did it go overall? Like what was your like from the get go? Is any
It
yeah
was. I
like
mean,
the start?
you know, when you're at a con, you're sort of stuck at your booth for the most of the
The
show,
entire day.
and so you don't really get out much. But we did get out and see some people, kind of interesting people that we had met at LA Comic Con were
Cool.
there. A couple of
Yeah.
people, actually, the people had the booth next to us and next to them. They weren't sitting with us, but they were together. They were the same. They were tabling next to each other, which is kind of interesting.
Oh right. So they're selling different products.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Oh wow.
And we invited people to be on this podcast later, at a later date, that kind of stuff.
Ah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we'll
Yeah.
see what happens. People
Yeah.
have to respond.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Actually, want to
yeah.
be on the podcast.
What So it was three days, is that right? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
Friday, Saturday,
Yeah.
Sunday. We went down on
Yeah.
Thursday and set up, and then we drove back down Friday morning, and then Friday we stayed down there Friday
Oh,
night.
you stayed down there, so
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
worth driving back and forth. Yeah.
It's like an hour and a half to 2 hour drive, and after being staying it for a long time, you don't really feel like, hey, let's drive. So we
Yeah.
decided we'd just stay down there. It was easier.
Oh. Yeah, easier on you. Yeah. So what were the 3 days, was it mentally and physically challenging, like to do 3 days of talking to people and selling stuff and yeah.
Uh, yeah, it wasn't. I mean, it was pretty slow. We didn't sell anything till the second day, honestly.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it
Wow.
was somebody that we'd actually knew from before came by.
Right.
So, and then we did sell a couple of trades.
Beautiful.
It was interesting. It was the same guy came on Saturday and bought the first volume, then came back on Sunday and bought the second.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's
so
exciting. So he would have read that on the first day he bought it and
I
then was like,
I'm
I want to
guessing
know
he
more.
did. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that
Wow.
was nice.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't have anybody come by and say, "I want to buy everything," that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said that would happen to us, and it didn't. So
Well, I
a
was
little
trying
mad
to
at you, but it's okay. It's okay.
Oh, yeah, I'll try better next time.
Yeah.
I was going to get in touch with Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane to come over and say hello. But,
Well, Jim Lee was there actually.
I
Yeah,
know he was. Yeah, they both were there, weren't they? Yeah.
yeah.
Did you
Didn't
see them or
no.
you didn't see them?
No.
Oh,
Again,
come on.
you well, you enter in Hall C or
See?
D,
Okay.
go through
Okay.
C, and which is where Artist Alley is, which is where all the guests are, which is kind of like everybody's there. And then
Yeah.
there was Hall B,
Right.
or yeah, and then we're in Hall A, which is like a
Okay.
bridge too far for a lot of people, apparently. Unless you wanted to buy Funkos, and there was always a stream of people trying to buy those because that
Okay.
was on that side.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, you had to really walk over to where we were. They should have Artist Alley and Small Press
So,
together, but they don't.
yeah. Right. So you're saying Artist Alley and Small Press is separated? Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Like,
by two
yeah.
halls. Yeah,
At least in
by
this
two
con,
holes.
yeah.
Oh, right. Wow.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy.
Separated at
So yeah,
at
how many sort of people do you think came by and said hello and
a couple hundred because we
yeah,
were passing out business cards to anybody that would actually look over our way.
yeah. So were there the very interesting people that came to your table that were gravitating towards your table that you thought were your audience, or were they completely different? Or
Honestly, the people that buy our book are never the people I think are going to buy
yeah,
it.
yeah, right. Okay. Yeah,
I'm happy when they do.
yeah,
We took a picture of everybody that bought a book and we posted it on
awesome.
our
Yeah.
events and
There was
page.
a photo. There's a photo you put up recently. Was a young gentleman holding one of your books, and he had like a name tag type thing. Was he someone special, or was he just a random guy who bought?
Oh, but there was a kind. Do you have a beard and long hair? Yeah. He was another
yeah.
small press guy.
Oh, okay.
He was from Satellite City,
Yeah.
which is kind of a band, and they've done a comic book, and they were there sort of. They were at LA Comic Con. That's one of the people that was at LA Comic Con, and they had a comic book and they had CDs, and they had a guy for at least at LA, and I think at WonderCon too. A guy played guitar in front of the booth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Cool.
so he came by and at the very end of the show. But that was nice. Yeah, and I think we actually had given him a copy of the first one at LA Comic Con. We traded, but he bought one anyway. So
He bought one.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's awesome.
And
So
Trevor's book sold 2 issues as well, which is
yeah. I started the Blade of Miracles. Is that correct? Is that
Yeah.
Yeah, I started reading it on Global Comics.
Oh.
I need to sign up and finish it. So
get the first 4 pages or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Was he happy? Was Trevor happy with that? Like his sales on that one?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So yeah, it was kind of. It's fun to sell a book, but it's a lot, and it's the people next to us, everybody in the free world seemed to know them, and they would come by and talk to them, and they would sort of kind of bothered me. They were standing kind of in front of our booth while they were talking, which is like, hey man, I'm paying for this real estate,
Yeah.
But I didn't say anything. I'm a nice guy, but it was like after a while. But what was funny was a guy came over that Paul knew.
Yeah.
That was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was Stephen L. Sears, who probably some people would know. The biggest thing he did, I think, was Xena Warrior Princess.
Oh wow.
Awesome. So I took animation writing class through UCLA Extension, and he was one of the guests. And I kind of caught up with him.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, he knew the people next to us. They were over talking to him, blah, 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 blah. And then Paul recognized him. He's a guy that, it was funny, he was talking about him the night before. He's a guy that wears a hat. It's sort of his signature brand kind of a thing. And if he doesn't wear a hat, people don't really know who he is.
Know who he is.
Yeah, or kind of immediate until he put the hat on kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so he recognized him, which was interesting. I mean, it was obviously he recognized him. And then he came over, and after he talked to them for a while, came over and talked to us. Took a couple, I kind of felt like, hey, we're players too.
Yeah. You're hitting the big time. Yeah.
What he talked about, among other things, when he was a guest speaker, was your personal brand, and he kind of reminded me like your physical appearance is part of your brand.
Yes.
To some extent, that there's some amount of it that can be kind of determined for you.
Yeah.
But he said what you really need to protect is your name, because like there is another writer named Stephen Sears, but he's Stephen L. Sears.
Right.
So his WonderCon badge said Stephen Sears, even though that wasn't correct. And he talked about how he's been at some conventions, and a few times they've gotten his name wrong. Like I guess recently one was Stephen L. Shears. Yeah. So he's gotten on there he's had to make the conventions like correct his name.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, they'll know who you are. No, they won't.
So being firm with that.
Yeah. So that was an interesting little, but it was nice.
That's kind of interesting. Like your physicality is a part of your brand a little bit. I used to work with a guy in a company, and he decided to grow a mustache because he felt like everyone would remember him a lot more if he had a mustache. And it was true. You'd see him with a mustache, and it was like, yeah, I know who you are. We kind of jokingly called him the Pringles. Because he looked like that. He literally looked like that. So
I would not be a look I'd go for personally. But.
So, and people would remember him. That's interesting you say that. Like for you guys, how did you go about with your branding and so forth? I saw some photos that you'd put up. You've obviously got, your get up, your t-shirts and everything. How did you go with that? Yeah.
Oh well, we actually had a new we call it banner made.
Oh yeah, yep.
Well, the one we had. As I said, we changed logos a few years ago, and it had the old logo on it. So I thought, well, we should have one that has the new logo. So it's basically the same orange one that we had before, but which I think is kind of dynamic. The boys are kind of, and they're going to fight kind of stance. So we had that up. We had some. We tried to sell T-shirts again, but there was one kid that seemed interested in one shirt for like that long, and his parents pulled him away. But
I hate when the parents do that. I've had that multiple times. Let the kid buy it. Just spend the money. Oh man!
Let me take the money out of your purse and give it to myself. Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And we even had 20% sale going on shirts. So
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You had to do it during the con, but
Yeah.
So
Did you pitch that? You pitched that when you were talking to people. You were saying
not really too much because we were just trying to get them to look our way.
Yeah.
Actually, there's something I thought about doing for the next convention because I saw a woman doing it there. She had a little screen up, and she was she'd written like a fantasy novel or something, and she had like a little video that she had sort of made.
Yeah, cool.
Wouldn't do, but she had this little, sort of her main character waved, and it was sort of this video thing sitting on her table, which was a pretty easy setup. So it made me think we should probably have we have videos that we've made of characters, and we have that thing at if you go to our YouTube channel at Power Squared.
You've got that trailer on your YouTube.
Yeah, which I think we need to kind of update that maybe because that's for like the first 5 issues. And we're on issue 27 now. But I thought that would be kind of a good thing to have, and I think that it would maybe even sort of like it would attract people because people like shiny things, and it might actually help tell a little bit of this, kind of a good look at the characters and who are they, and it kind of if we could have audio,
that'd be great.
all the videos have someone doing the part, and we actually even have a professional voice actor doing one of them. Dino
is he well known? Like
I don't
know who that
Dino
is.
Anyway, but he was during COVID, and we asked if he would do it. He said sure. So it's like a minute long, and
beautiful.
It's kind of cool. Otherwise, it's people involved in the book reading parts, but
right, yeah. But that's a really good. I think that's a really good way of attracting attention and getting people to the table. Like, were there any things that you had learned from your previous convention that, in the way of selling books or like approaching people, that you implemented at WonderCon?
It was kind of the same situation for us, honestly, where the people on one side of us were pretty well known, and the people on the other side of us had books. Books seemed to really attract people. A book, it's a comic book, it's a book, but okay. And
what do you mean? What do you mean books? Like as a novel, like
literature?
Literature.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. Right.
There was like 4 people next to us, 4 different authors, and they all had 4 different books, and people knew one of them, and they were always like, oh, blah, blah, blah,
I get that with romance novelists here in Australia.
Yeah, and so it's this attraction. Oh, there's a book, and people would come by and talk to them for a long time. And it was also sometimes just the same person coming by 3 or 4 times, talking. Like they never met each other before. So I did learn from the guy across from us, which was Dope Cat Comics.
I know Dope Cat. I actually put into one of his Kickstarters years ago.
Really?
Mike, someone.
Yes, Mike. Yes.
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so he says hi.
Yeah, sorry.
Remember Lucas Scheffel? No, well, we actually invited him to be a guest. He actually responded today that thanks for the invite, kind of deal. But he has like large cards, like postcards.
Yeah.
And his thing was you hand it to the person, and instead of just letting it go, you kind of hold on to it. Can I tell you about my book?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, business cards to me is a little like you're almost grabbing their hand, and it's a little personal. But I thought the idea of getting postcards next time would be make more sense. You know,
Nice.
and you kind of hold on to it. Can I tell you about my book? You know, and he did sell some stuff.
Cool.
He was selling these $30 stuffed dope cats, kind of.
Yeah, the plushies, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen them. Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't know you were into his stuff.
Well, no, I don't.
That's fine.
But no,
Yeah,
no. Actually, I for some reason, one of his Kickstarters, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I'll do that. And then I kind of looked a bit further into it. I was like, oh, that kind of doesn't align with some of the things I'm into. But I was like,
sure it doesn't.
Funny.
It's okay.
Everyone else around me, maybe. But,
Yeah.
No.
We're not with the DEA. You can say so.
It's interesting you talk about sort of like strategies and tactics that, say this Mike guy's using or some people around you are using at the conventions. I was speaking to a guy the other day just over the internet about comic conventions and how people sell things. And he said he was at a convention, he was watching one gentleman sell his comic books. And it was I'd never heard of this before. The guy who had the table was out the front of his table the whole convention. And when anyone would come along, he'd talk to them, attract their attention, but he'd strategically turn his body away from, everything else around you and just have them focused in on his table, show them the book and start talking about it, but he'd whisper in their ear really softly so they had to pay attention and not pay attention to what else was going around them. And this guy was saying like 90% of the time he'd be making sales, and I thought that was a little bit cheeky, but it was like, oh, that's like really honing into something a little bit more psychological and deep level than
We're basically introverts, so it's really hard for us to get that look. Hey buddy. I did notice something that I wanted to try. We never got an opportunity. Was the guy next to us was always like whipping out his book and pointing to pages and da 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 da. I was thinking part of that, I think the video would take care of, but it would be like the most. We had a guy come by the booth. What was his name? He was the co-founder of Guar. Hunter Jackson came by the first day. I honestly had never heard of the man before, but
I'm gonna look him up.
He if you look on our website, there's a guy doing this kind of thing.
Is he an actor? Is that
no?
Right?
He was a musician, and I guess he was talking to the guy next to us on this left side. There was two guys on that side, different books, but one guy was the guy that would take out the comic book and show it to people and blah blah blah. Was talking about something, and he goes, "That was me." He goes, "What?" And so anyway, I don't know if it was, and he had a comic book that he traded with us. We traded two of our books for one of his, and we got a picture with the guy a couple times. Yeah, so it was kind of like I would never have thought of this person. Never, I haven't read the book yet.
What was his called? You don't know.
I have it in the.
You don't know?
I have to go up and get it, but I don't have it with me. But
no,
I haven't read it yet either. So
yeah, okay.
So yeah, that's kind of, that was kind of interesting. He was came right up to us and you want to trade books and like okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
sure.
Okay. Yeah. How do you know what's fair to trade? Like when you see what they're trading, or
I was just happy that somebody was taking our books away.
Fair enough.
All of them,
Fair
or
enough.
no, just the two? Okay, fine. No. You hope that they'll I'll say we did better than we did at LA Comic Con to save John Barber didn't come by and buy a bunch of books.
Yeah.
But we got more people to sign up that, physically sit down and sign up for the
Oh,
newsletter.
really? Yeah.
It was only
Wow.
5, but
Didn't some people sign up without us really?
we're assuming that we handed out 200 cards and there was on the back was how do you get a free issue,
So probably like less, maybe like 1% of those
yeah.
people.
You only turn like 5,
Yeah. There's the conversion rates. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
bad.
just how it is.
Yeah.
But people always say there's QR codes in the back. Oh, thanks. Like, you know, yeah, put them there just for you. Yeah.
You hear it enough times that at some point you just assume it's an automatic
Yeah,
response.
thanks. That's great. We did have somebody come by that we knew from LA Comic Con was an attendee, and at I don't know where we're going out of focus here.
I thought I was drunk for a moment.
No, it's just us. No. Don Wynn, who's an artist, and he's been on the show a couple of times. Not as many times as you, but he's been a couple of times. And we had him on before the WonderCon to give us give us some advice about WonderCon. At LA Comic Con, he has, and I guess he does this at conventions he's at, is sort of a scavenger hunt kind of a thing where you go to all these different tables.
Yes.
And you get like have to say you were there, and they give you something, which we were handing out a card, a trading card, and you do that, and what you collect them all, and you win something if you're the first person or the drawing or whatever. So this guy remembered us from LA Comic Con because he'd come to our booth and he won the prize. He was the big winner.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll be back later. Never saw him again. But
Never come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny that I remember I was at the last convention I was at. There was this young guy, youngest. He would have been a teenager. He was. You could tell he was into comic books, and he came to my table and he looked through mine. And he was interested, and there was a guy opposite me who does really well in the Aussie independent comic scene, and he's probably one of the unique ones. And he's been around for 10 years, and he's got a really interesting character and story and stuff. And that kid. Anyway, this kid who came to see mine was like, "Oh yeah, I'm thinking I'll buy something from you. I'm just looking around, and I might be back later." Anyway, the kid came back later, and he went over to the other table with the other guy and bought, and he actually turned around and looked at me, and I was like looking him dead in the eye as he made the purchase. And I'm like, I see you, man. You didn't come back. Okay.
Yeah. No, but and people. More than one person said who was tabling, I'll come by your table later. Nope, never did. I guess one person did. I'll take that back. But most people had said that. It's sort of like, I'll be back and I'll take a look at your table. They never did.
There's a lot going on at these things. I feel like it's maybe a little bit competitive, and if people don't know who you are or they, all that sort of thing. But I commend you guys for going out and doing it, because you don't know what will happen until you get to these things, It's always good to look back on what, reflect on it and try and go, well, we could do this, we could do that,
And we're
see
also,
what other people do.
Yeah, and we're also trying to figure out if we want to try to do it again.
Yeah. Do you think it was worthwhile? Is that what's your biggest takeaway from it? Was it worthwhile, or from a branding point of view, or
from dollars and cents?
Yeah.
I think the con totally cost close to, buying things for it and eating down there and all that.
Yeah.
It was like close to $2,000, and we made like $80 in sales,
right.
So $50 in sales.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, oh, okay, but you're doing it to try to get. Hopefully, the next time you come back, people, 6 people will sign up, and 10 people will buy something.
Or we haven't been doing conventions very long, so we're still in the build momentum phase.
Yeah. So
100%.
I'd like to go back, but I'd like to be in Artist Alley, because that's supposedly where, there was somebody else who was like us. Had books, and they weren't.
So you can do that. That's okay.
Well, I'd like to do that. Because I went. They sent out a thing during the show where you could renew. You could put down a deposit and kind of
up to the next one.
Yeah. And we have till like the 13th to do it. And you sort of
high demand there. Wow.
What?
It's in high. It sounds like it's very much in high demand, like thinking ahead over there.
Well,
with those sort of things.
At the same time, there was a couple of empty tables. Everybody said it was slow. Even there are some people, of course, do well no matter what, but a lot of people it's pretty slow. And people that I know. What?
I'll just say I overheard, slightly gross, I overheard in the bathroom kind of on the last day, someone was like, "This is the worst. This is the worst one I've had," and then the person talking to you was like, "This is the best WonderCon ever."
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That's kind of
yeah, sort of hit and miss, isn't it?
yeah. But it'd be nice to be where people were, as opposed to,
Yes.
and there
You
were.
want to be where the money is. Yeah.
And when you get further out, like where we were in Hall D
Z,
or
no.
A, Hall A,
Yeah,
there was a lot of room.
Right.
Yeah, and
Okay.
as I
Okay.
say, there were a couple of tables that were just totally empty.
Yeah.
We did talk to, as I said, we talked. Oh, we also talked to the owner of Golden Apple Comics, which is Hollywood, which is a big one.
You've done signings there?
We did a
Is that
signing there.
right?
Yeah, it's
yeah,
very good.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks for
Okay,
remembering.
yeah.
And we showed him the trades, and he said, "Yeah, give me 6 of them each, and we'll sell them on consignment." So that was kind of cool.
Beautiful. That's amazing.
Yeah, and so we're trying to use stuff to build. And there was
Networking.
you say the name better, Brian.
Brian Posehn
Right, he was there. Who's an actor
and comic book
and a
writer.
comic book writer.
Paul Sane.
Yeah.
What's his name? Brian.
Brian Posehn.
Sane.
He co-wrote a run of Deadpool,
Oh, okay.
and he's also done other books like Grommets, which is a slice of life about skater culture based on real experiences,
Yeah,
and The Secret History of the War on Weed.
Oh,
but he was
right,
also-
right up my alley.
yeah, like your
He's
Ghost
also-
Cat stuff. Yeah,
But he was also an actor in stuff.
been on-
I'm looking up now. I know who he is.
yeah. All right. Yeah,
He's
you might. I don't know what you see from American television there, but he's been on a lot of
Look,
shows here.
American television has just taken over Australia.
Oh.
He highlighted his appearance. He highlighted at his table his role in Big Bang Theory.
Right. Yeah.
Probably
Yes.
because that's-
And he's going to be in a
yes.
spin-off of Big Bang Theory. They're trying to do.
What spin-off are they doing? Is it Young Sheldon?
No, this is actually taking his character and Kripke, if you remember, ever seen the show.
Yeah, creepy. Yeah.
Yeah, and the guy that runs the comic book store,
Yes,
and
yeah.
it's another
Stu,
guy,
yeah,
and they're
Stu.
going to spin him off. I kind of,
Really?
yeah,
They're putting a lot. Geez, they're banking on that. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I was gonna joke younger.
So, yeah, it's a baby. So we asked him about being on the show, and we'll see if he does it.
Yeah, he's going to talk to his agent or something.
No,
Did
you have
say
to hit him up on social media, which is kind of like a way of saying,
that? But you talk to him directly, you know.
yeah. Well, he talked to him, and we both talked to him several
Yeah.
times, and he was like, "What? Who are you?"
Yeah.
But I have found when people say, "Hit me up on social media," it means good luck. I'm never going to talk to you again.
Right. Okay. So it's a polite way to.
There was
I would still try. Anyway.
oh, we will try. But
Yeah.
there was a writer, woman writer,
Gail Simone.
Gail Simone, famous writer. She's written a lot of stuff.
I'll look her up.
We named a character.
We named a character after her. Yeah.
Oh, right. Did you tell her this? Or?
No.
No,
Oh, you didn't. Oh.
but she said,
"Talk."
"Hit
She
me up."
said,
On,
"Hit me up on Twitter." And
Yeah.
then,
she's blocked from receiving messages on Twitter. So yeah, so that's sort of like
So
you
it's
know,
this is just a thing they
Yeah.
do. Right.
yeah. Hit me up on social media. I won't respond, but you can hit me up all you want. Yeah. So
Oh,
that was
man.
kind of a little disappointing.
That's the underbelly of the industry. Right. Okay.
Well,
Trying to get
yeah.
keeping.
I'd be if somebody wanted me on the podcast, I'm there. You know, I
Yeah.
want to do
Likewise.
it. But
Why not?
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, I get it. But, yeah. Did you see anyone like that was well known there, like Kevin? I don't know, someone or other, or someone famous.
well,
Brian.
Brian
well, Steven
Outside
Silver
of it.
was there.
Steven Silver, who had done he's an animator, does character
Designer.
designs. Yeah.
For
Okay.
the ones that he usually mentions are Kim Possible and Danny Phantom.
Yeah, I know. Butch Hartman, is that? Do you know?
Butch Hartman was
Yeah.
there. We didn't
Yeah.
talk anything.
Oh, he's there, was he? Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
wasn't he? Yeah, he's there. Like if you wanted an autograph, it was what?
Like too much
Well,
money.
Yeah, $40-$50
Yeah.
for an autograph,
Or 70.
or 70. Okay, yeah. I mean some.
He's interesting hair, Butch Hartman.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, we didn't connect. Sorry. Do you know him from a Kickstarter?
No. It's funny, Butch Hartman. I actually did a course with that he ran, just an online video thing that I found online, and he taught you how to create characters, how the process he uses to create characters, like all that sort of stuff. So, yeah. Anyway,
Well, you should drop your name.
no, he doesn't know.
Lucas, he's on my class online. Yeah.
No, he wouldn't. They just took my money.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was kind of, as I say, you have to go through these experiences, and you hope that the next time you do it will be, hey, you're back, as opposed to the one guy that bought the 2 trades said if we have another one, he'll buy it next time. So
well,
we're going to go back just for him.
Yeah. So from here on in, is there any conventions that you would consider from now until next year, or
we're trying to do San Diego.
We're on the waiting list for Comic-Con.
Yep. Okay, the big one.
Yeah, and again, last year they called us, I kind of out of the blue, a month before, saying, "Hey, we have an opening." I'm like, "Well, I'm not ready."
Yeah. Okay.
I don't have anything. It just wasn't the time to do that. I mean, it wasn't time to pull it together, really.
Yeah.
So I would have wish I had kind of done it, because then I guess you signed up for the next time too.
Yes.
But we'll see what happens, and if we get a call this time, we're much closer to being ready to.
You're gonna go do it.
Yeah.
Yep. So what would you expect out of, say, San Diego Comic-Con?
Well, for one thing, the small press would be by an entrance.
Yeah. If you've ever been to Comic-Con, you gather at what they call the pavilion, and the actual event is down some stairs into this big hall, and if you come down the stairs, small press is right there.
Bang, you're right there.
Yeah, as opposed to other side of the building, another dimension.
Yeah.
So that would be much more advantageous for us.
That's cool. Yeah. Do you know anyone that's been there doing small press that you could talk to about?
Actually, we had Eric Arriaga.
I don't think he cares as much about how you pronounce his name, because he's heard multiple ways.
Yeah,
so he's just like, whatever.
And Stephen Prince, who were both, we did a panel at LA Comic Con together, and I met them in small press at Comic Con.
Right.
And I think Drunk Flamingo, don't they do?
Yeah.
Small press at Comic Con, which are also people that
were they there at WonderCon?
They were at LA Comic Con next to us, and they were actually
at WonderCon.
And they were at WonderCon next to the Satellite City people.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah, so that was kind of, and we invite them to be on the show. We'll see what happens. They kind of they don't write comic books, but
did they say just get in touch with us on social media?
We actually got an email address.
Yeah, we've emailed them before. Yeah.
Oh, man,
so
you're in. Yeah.
Cool. Send us some smoke signals. I promise we'll respond.
Oh, man.
Random, drum beats. We'll be there, no problem.
Carrier pigeon.
Hey, that's how you get in touch with me here in Australia via Carrier Pigeon.
Yeah.
That's anyway.
So they may, everybody seems to. So thank you for asking. And there are some other people we asked your Dope Cat friend, and we asked one of the guys who was in the booth next to us.
Yeah.
And we asked this. There was this group of comic book creators who call themselves the Tomb, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Right.
Yeah, it's 4 women, and I believe it's mostly LGBT kind of stories.
Yeah.
But we invite they nice enough people to be on the show, and so we'll see if they respond. We wrote to one of them because she said, "Yeah, they can write to me, and I'll handle the rest." So
out of everyone else's sort of tables and booths and how they had things set up, was there anything anything that they did with the way they set the table up or the design or something that you were like, oh wow, that's a cool idea. I want to outside the video thing.
No, that was
Screen. Was that the only one like that really stood out to you? Or?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, because otherwise you build they have some people have facades like the tomb has sort of like and I kind of feel like that would I would knock it over.
Well, that was a thing I've seen with like some artist alley booths when people are selling artwork. They have to like display it. In their case, they had
racks up.
In their case, they had to display works for like 4 people, so they needed to be as vertical as humanly possible.
Yeah, and some of the designs are pretty cool.
The book table next to us, they used something that Char and I actually saw at TFCon, which was like a 1x2 banner.
Oh yeah, they had a really small banner on their table.
On the table.
Yeah, which they just had, as far as I could tell, just had books out. But they were so well known, you know.
Yeah, they were still. It's funny. I've seen some tables where it's just bare bones. It's like skeleton. Just the books on the table. They don't even have anything in the back. Just a tablecloth, and they're selling. You know, they're like,
what am I doing wrong? This guy's.
I've got all this shit everywhere around me. You know? I'm sitting there just like crickets. You know?
Yeah, we had as you saw, we had the trades and we had the whole thing of all the books and.
I'm wondering if we need to have like a wall banner.
Okay.
So something like horizontal at the back? Is that what you're saying? Or,
yeah. I know if we're in Artist Alley at WonderCon next time, we definitely need something like that.
Yeah.
And of course something to like hold it up.
Yeah.
In that scenario.
We curated the school. We have I had a banner made that is the school for with enroll today and a big giant QR code that works. Nobody sees it and nobody I'm afraid they probably think it's a real school or something we're trying to.
I was going to ask you, did anyone come and wanted to sign up to nurse college or anything?
No, not this time.
Well, I do remember at LA Comic Con, someone who was across from us, who is also an Artist Alley WonderCon.
Yes.
Mistook that for an actual school thing, so that I'll just say it made me rethink.
Yeah, it kind of backfires. I mean,
I don't know.
Maybe we're too clever.
I wonder if you need to like look at that though in a different light. People think it's a school. What can you leverage something there that gets people through the door? Like it's power.
Yeah. Maybe that would be a thing for a small banner on the table, or something. I don't know. Yeah. But I think when we do our Kickstarter sometime this year, we're
is that happening soon? Yeah. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. Probably late summer, fall kind of thing.
Yep.
I don't know. We haven't thought it more than, hey, we should do one. But we one of the things we're going to offer are diplomas.
Yes, I remember you talking about that. Yeah. That's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah,
that's a cool reward. I like that. Yeah. Fits into your branding and your world.
$1,000 a piece. No, I'm joking.
Hey, there's some people that would,
diploma bill. Hey, you need a degree? What? Yeah, it's all associate of arts degrees, but because it's a junior college.
So you start thinking The Simpsons, Skinner's degree comes from Diploma Mill University.
Yes.
So we thought that would be kind of a fun thing to have.
Yeah. What about getting people dressed up as some of your characters? Like, would that be too much to think about, or
we'd have to hire somebody to dress up?
Yeah, true. There's a cost, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought if we could have like a Jennifer, walking around, that would probably help a lot.
Exactly.
But,
but that's wondering if you can find someone who's just like, hey, I'll do it. So.
Well, and
I don't know.
We probably have to pay them and put them up, and
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So that's probably not going to happen.
Maybe I could come over and do it. No.
Yeah. You could do your gorilla outfit. That'd be great. It really has nothing to do with the comic book, but that'd be cool.
Okay, my aim is to find you an actor that will come in and play someone at one of your kids.
So we talked a lot about us. I know you're finishing up a Kickstarter
I am.
because you were
Yeah.
on last month talking about it. So give us an
I
update.
was. Yeah. So on March 16th, it would have been the 15th for you guys. No, yeah, the 15th for you guys. I launched my Ned Kelly, The Five Revolvers, sort of Australian bushranger, Australian bushranger story, which mixes a sci-fi imagination scenario with it on Kickstarter. And I launched it. I was like pretty confident that this would, for the 30 days that I was running, I'd see a nice, cool trajectory of interest. And I funded it within the first 7 days of it being up, which I was just absolutely blown away by. It's never happened to me. And any Kickstarter that I've run 4 in the past, and it's been going well. We've hit our initial target, and we're over it now, and we're at 130% funded.
Wow.
We've got 109 backers. My personal best is 95 backers. 109 is really good, and I've got 12 days to go.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been good, and I've got 20 odd comments on the Kickstarter page itself, which is, I never get comments at all on any of my Kickstarters. It's just crickets. But this time around, I've just got people going, "Oh wow, this is so cool. This reminds me of the bushranger things. Reminds me of when I grew up as a kid, hearing about them. I love what you're trying to do." And
this is the greatest book ever. Yeah, I can't wait to read it.
yeah, it's
The
just
religion
all very,
coming. Yeah.
it's all very positive. So everyone's really, just really, really interested, and I'm kind of dumbfounded at how well it's going. It's got to the point where I've had some interesting conversations with people outside of this Kickstarter. Like yesterday, I got on a call with a filmmaker here in Australia who's making a documentary series about
you. That's it. No.
Well, I'm going to be in it apparently.
Wow. All right.
It's about Ned Kelly culture in Australia. And this is a guy. This guy actually, you guys might know this documentary. He produced and directed a documentary called Golden Era. So it was about the makers of the Golden Eye video game for Nintendo 64.
Oh, yeah, that one. All right.
Yeah. So the guy that made that, I've been talking to him about this project that he wants to sort of, because Ned Kelly is quite symbolic in artistic endeavors in Australia and across the world. Like there's sculptures of him, there's paintings that are well known of him. It's all through books, it's all through television, it's all through movies. So he's trying to figure out why is that. He's digging deep and going, well, is there a little bit more to it than just, this Australian mythology, the icon of, a guy in the Australian bush fighting the police in a some crazy armor. So there's that's opened up for me, and there's something else that's opened up for me as well. I can't really talk about it at the moment. But,
okay, got an NDA on this. Okay, fine.
No,
I'm too cool to talk to you guys. I got it. Okay, fine.
No, it's very, very much in its infancy.
Okay,
so if I talk about it, it may not even be great, so I don't want to give it too much. Yeah.
Reminds me of how's that cure for cancer going? Yeah, great.
True.
I got all this stuff going on. I'm so busy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being
But,
able to do the show with us, Jade.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been good. It's been fun. So yeah, I can't complain. Onward and upward. So yeah.
Oh, good. All right.
Yeah.
Any other question? One other thing I thought about doing would be to have a Kasune at the table, like a little
like
stuffed
a plush.
Yeah, plush.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, probably get people, little kids. What's that? But,
well, it's funny you say that. Well, I was at a convention and there was a romance writer next to me selling her novels, and she had a stuffed toy animal on her table, and it was a sheep. And all the kids would obviously come up to it. All the young girls were like, "Oh, look at this," and they'd start patting it, like it was a real one. And that was her hook to get people in to talk to her. And she'd guaranteed every time she'd sell a book. But
wow.
She'd be like, "Do you like romance? I see you like stroking the sheep." It was just all that sort of.
So romance and sheep is kind of weird, but okay.
Well, the sheep was there was context to the sheep.
No,
there was context to the sheep because it was about it was about a farming community about this romantic
Remote
story.
farming community. Yeah, okay.
I don't know how the sheet got into it. I've not read the story, so I hope it didn't.
It kind of reminds me of a dirty joke, I won't say.
Yeah, no, I know. We have it about New Zealanders, dirty jokes about New Zealanders and sheep, but I won't go there.
This is about goats, but it's all right. It's sort of
Anyway.
Yeah. I'll tell you after the show.
So will you be? So this is my last question. Will you guys be back for WonderCon 2026?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
And hopefully in our artist alley as opposed to small press,
Small price, okay. Cool.
because you actually will see us hopefully.
Yeah. So that's one thing you'd do different next year. Is there anything else you'd do different next year other than the video?
The video and the Kasune, hire models to hang around. I think that would be. Well, we have something going, but I can't talk about it. No.
No, I seriously, I wish.
No, that's fine. No,
I 100% wish I could, but I just.
You're more important than we are. I got it. All right.
It's
All right.
yeah.
All right. Anything else? Should we?
Okay. I guess that's about it.
I think so. Unless you've got something else you want to hold back on us. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry.
If you're watching us on YouTube later, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more. And if you are looking for a silent fidget toy, you save 10% on getono.com with our code Marty and Eli.
All right. So we encourage people to do that. All right. So until next time, I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankins.
And you've been on the air with Power Squared. Bye.